Good evening. This is Sister Jennifer P. Wilson, keeper of the Space Sisters Uptown Bookstore and Cultural Center. January 1 was our 20th year in the community of Sugar Hill, Washington Heights, and Harlem. We were preparing to celebrate our 20th year celebration, and COVID pandemic happened on March of 2020, March 7th. We were given a directive to close our space. But when we opened our space January 1 of 2000, we didn't just open a bookstore. Our bookstore was a place where our community could come to exchange information and ideals. I wanted to embrace my culture from the present, past, and future artists, artisans, authors, poets, musicians, children, mothers, fathers, brothers, sisters in my community. So I embarked on being one of the few Black-owned bookstores in Harlem. And through grace, we've sustained ourselves for the past 20 years. And what we do is we offer an array of services where we have spoken word poetry entitled Sport Poetry Speaks to Us. We have author signings with self-published authors, authors from all over the diaspora. And so our pet peeve is self-published authors because our plight basically is the same. The struggle is the same. We need to have our own publishing productions and houses so that we can produce our works, past, present, and future, just the way we've written it and have it presented in that manner. We also have music through spoken word. We have the African Folk Heritage Circle, who's been with us for more than 5 years, who was started by Dr. Joyce Christine Duncan. The African Folk Heritage Circle is a group of national storytellers who come to tell our stories. We have children book talks, we have author talks, we have community meetings. A bookstore is just not a bookstore. It is a place where it is a hub where we can come and exchange information and ideals. So we've been on our seat embarking on our history for the past 20 years, and I think we've done a pretty good job in terms of independent bookstores being around for 20 plus years. The honor and the recognition is definitely due to the Most High. There is no way that we would have been able to sustain ourselves if it were not for grace. When the pandemic hit and we were asked to close on March 7th, we closed abruptly, not knowing whether we were going to reopen, whether the business was closed. But I knew that what we needed to do was to realign ourselves, recreate, and continue the plight of presenting our authors and history from the African diaspora. From March through about May 28th, we were basically closed. And on May 28th, we partnered with a online component, an online bookstore, and we started selling books online, and we had a surge of online sales, which to this date has actually kept us afloat. It was unfortunate that the increase came as a direct result of our brother George Floyd losing his life. There seemed to have been an awakening as a result of his demise, and as a result of that, now there's a movement called Black Lives Matter, and so folk are buying books on anti-racism, racism, and so they're educating themselves to our plight, which has been in existence for over 400 years. Nothing has changed. We've been lynched then and now, and what we saw was a live lynching of the brother. And so, as a result of that, the unfortunate and fortunate circumstance of his death has caused us to awaken to our plight as Black folk in America. The question is sustainability. Now, in terms of being a Black-owned bookstore and cultural center, at this moment, we're the only Black-owned bookstore in Manhattan. And so, sustainability around a premise of racism, anti-racism, I don't know if there's any sustainability in that credence, because our plight hasn't changed. It's been colored, it's been changed in terms of the look, but in terms of who we are as a people, nothing actually has changed, and our circumstance. The thing that I've learned from this COVID pandemic is the resilience of Black folk prevails. Our ancestors moved through unheard of things through the slave trade and slavery, and they persevered, they fought, they died, they cried. Everything that is imaginable that could happen to a people happened to them. And still we stand, and still we rise. And so what COVID pandemic and the lynching of brothers and sisters every day because of George Floyd, Eric Garner, there have been so many every day, the list goes on and on and on, that what it means is our resilience prevails as a people. There has been an awakening of who we are and what our assignment is, and there are some of us that were awakened by this incident. There were some of us who were always awake, and there are some of us who have to still awaken. So I do believe moving forward in terms of us as a people, we will sustain ourselves, but not in the fashion, the normal fashion that we had become accustomed to. Things have changed. Folk are trying to live their lives as usual, but a change has come, and we shall move forward with the resilience that our ancestors left us. And so I say to those who are bewildered and think that this is it, this is not it. We have to concentrate now basically on our health. Our health is going to be needed moving forward, so we have to make sure that we're resilient in our health, in our eating habits, exercise, rest, those are the formulas for us moving forward as a people through whatever is coming. Whatever is planned, man has a plan and God has a plan. So this is a time for us to stay steadfast, realign ourselves with newness. Life as we know it is over. That way is over and done. And so newness is upon us. And there's a happiness, there's a profound happiness that we can find in newness. What newness will do is cause us to be still and know that I am, the I am, is what is going to move us forward. So I say to my people, be still and know that I am. It is done. Resilient folk, continue the plight, continue the struggle. We will never give up. It is done. Sisters Uptown Bookstore will prevail. It is now an institution, a 20-year institution. The legacy is for our children to know that there is nothing that they can and they cannot do. We've done it. The example is there for them. We've done it without any assistance from anybody other than ourselves. So let us align ourselves with newness. Let us embrace the history of our ancestors. Let us become one in who they are and their sacrifices, and know that literacy is the way. We need to know who we are, from whence we've come, and that is going to free us moving forward. So my vow to you is for all of us to find a way to educate ourselves as to who we are as a people, where we came from, and that certainly will free us. I am humbled by the fortitude and the resilience of Lorraine, who is the founder of the Bronx Book Fair. She is a wonderful soul, and we, as people in the literacy world, be it publishing, be it bookstore owners, be it authors, whatever it is we're doing in the world of literacy, let us surround this sister, uplift her, stand with her in her plight, and let her know that we love her. We're there. Whatever it is you need for us to do, sister, please call on us. We, as one, will move forward in newness. This is Jennifer Wilson, keeper of the space, Sisters Uptown Bookstore and Cultural Center. Literacy is the way. Bronx Book Fair. God bless. Let us continue to move forward in the awakening of who we are through the culture of literacy. God bless.